you all doing? All right, this is going to be a multi-message. I'm going to be talking about different things today. I'm going to tell you the first thing I want to tell you about. It's this, okay? Does anybody know what this is? Anybody? Okay, it's red in color. This is a raw ruby. It's a raw ruby. So this is a ruby here. A client of mine sent this to me, and I'm so excited to receive it. And I want to do a journey into this ruby specifically and see what its message, its wisdom, its healing is for all of us today. Okay. So today is 3-3, which is 33. And I thought it'd be cool to maybe intertwine some 33 energy into this message. I'm also going to channel God today. Okay. I'm going to channel God today. And if possible, I'd also like to share healing for our crown chakra, our higher mind. I want to tell you guys something. I've been working through the Zodiac energy readings. If you like readings about your Zodiac sign, or just you like Abbey normal readings in general, you should go check out my other YouTube channel, Zodiac energy readings, because I'm starting to post these. I'm finding that there is a common theme for the month of March having to do with emotions, facing really difficult lessons, and working through this. It feels like there's some reward in the process of working through these emotions. So it could be, as we work through the lessons, which are emotional, which are challenging and hard, there are blessings on the other side of this. So that's kind of some of the similar messages that I'm tapping into just for our collective Zodiac, as we're all a part of each other, right? So check out Zodiac energy readings. I'm going to relax now. It's 33. It's 3-3. I'm going to tap into this very special ruby. I want to thank you so much, Barry, for sending this to me. All right, here we go. Okay. It's very calm. And there's a lot of images that remind me of blood flow. And some of the meaning of blood flow, like circulation, is positive. The deeper meaning of our blood wisdom, our DNA. There's also blood flow that is a little bit more difficult to look at. It's kind of like bloodshed, lost, blood that we lose in war or battle, like the blood-stained fields, the earth having to digest all of this blood, which contains so much information, contains suffering and fear and intensity. So there's this unresolved blood energy as well. This concept of blood is really, really, really special in all the different dynamic ways that it can express itself, because everything has meaning, whether the meaning is difficult to digest or it's abundant and beautiful. It has meaning. And in all things, there is meaning, right? Which is wisdom and enlightenment, and it's how we grow. So the ruby is sharing this message with us. It's about the heart as well. So the heart is also this color red. And so the stone is also representing the heart energy. And the ruby shows me that the heart is kind of like a secret box. And we struggle at times to unlock our box, our secret heart box, to help others to see who we truly are. And we want others to just simply know who we truly are, without having to explain ourselves. And it's almost like we all have this innate feeling that like we don't have to explain ourselves. Like I'm saying here, we should just be understood. You should just see see that I'm smiling, but really know how I feel on the inside without me having to explain it. You should just be able to tell, like, there's something inside of us. I think you guys could agree that we feel like we should be psychically understood in a way. We don't have to go through the details, but we do have to go through learning about self-expression here as human beings on planet Earth. Because part of that learning is for us as well. So when we find a way to share the secrets of our heart with others, we are actually deeply and intimately sharing ourselves as a human being with another human being. And that's a really big deal for soul level connection. Big deal. Super, super, super big deal. And you want to honor that. You don't want to degrade that. You want to respect that. Because that's how hearts get broken, is when we open our heart to each other. We share our intimate secret heart selves, right? And then something happens where there's misunderstanding, misinterpretation, or just simply choices that weren't very respectful. And now we deal with the broken secret heart box. And now we even struggle to express how that hurt our feelings. In order to mend the broken heart box, in order to be understood. And sometimes the other side, the other secret heart box that you're sharing this experience with, can't interpret you, doesn't read between the lines. You can't find the right words to help it be understood. And so in a way, it just never follows through, and you can wind up feeling as though your heart remains broken because you aren't understood, even when you try to be understood. Ruby wants to talk a lot about this because just the simple act of sharing is abundantly beautiful. The simple act of working through in exchanges of information that can be misinterpreted, that could be felt, that could be triggering, that could break this heart box. That's also very, very a big, precious deal, because that's how we grow, right? And now sometimes we can be left alone and confused and feeling a complication of the matters of the heart, and we don't know how to resolve them. Again, more lessons, more growth. But we have to choose to see that the love is in everything, because the wisdom, the enlightenment is in all experiences, not just the special ones, not just the ones that make us feel good about ourselves, but the ones that challenge us too, are there for helping us grow, right? Which then through growing, we become more enlightened, we become brighter. So the Ruby's talking to me about how it's hard to relax sometimes and just trust. Like I'm getting this intense feeling in my heart, like I'm nervous, like I'm uncomfortable, like I don't know how to say what I need to say. And I feel a bit of anxiety. I feel like I'm having a hard time breathing. Where is this really coming from? What is this event that's happening here? Fear of what you have to say will be misinterpreted and then will break your secret little heart box space, right? So have you actually shared? Don't hold yourself back. Like you should feel a flow and a freedom of self-expression from the heart. This is, I'm feeling the intricate steps here of the process of sharing, being afraid to share, then sharing, then being afraid of how that's going to reciprocate back to me and how I'm going to feel about myself. So I'm breaking myself down through all these insecurities and fears, and I haven't even taken the first step yet. I'm just living kind of in a fantasy of terror and fear, but not working through the actions, the human steps that it takes to follow through, to prove it to oneself. Because life is a process. It's not just about a moment in time, and then we live in the state of fear and resistance. We actually have to work through the process, okay? We got to keep working through the process. So the next thing that comes to me, it's a message about what it is like to be human, matters of the heart. the good and the bad, right? But seeing that all things have value and meaning in the depths of itself, right? Because that's how we become enlightened and wise. Okay, the next thing for the human is anger and frustration. I mean, this is deep, heavy duty stuff. This makes sense for the month of March, based on my zodiac energy readings. Like, it's about emotions, working on facing our fears, our life lessons, which is hard, but there's so much reward in doing this. And we can live in the fantasy, right, of the fear, the state of fear. We can live in that fantasy, or we can, follow through with steps and actions that actually are the reward, okay? Because that is putting our lessons into action, and that is creating the physical growth, emotional growth, mental growth, growth of our soul, all that stuff. The next thing is loneliness, okay? Because I feel that this ruby is like a companion or a friend, which is interesting because I've had this ruby in my purse with me, so I take it everywhere that I go. When I go with my purse, like, my ruby comes with me, so it's like a companion, a friend. It's him like a buddy, and so there's a message about loneliness and companionship. And a feeling of disappointment in oneself, as though, like, it's my fault that I'm alone. It's my fault, okay? So if you're feeling lonely, perhaps you perhaps there's a circulation of something that isn't actually being honest or true to oneself, because it's nobody's fault that they're alone. Nobody's fault. Like, it's something about the word, it's my fault. I'm to blame. What's wrong with me? Well, it must be these things that's wrong with me. So we're circulating the energy back, but it's kind of in a way shallow, because it's dishonest. It's not being honest to the truth, and the matters of the heart, and what this is really all about. So that's part of what the ruby's talking about next. It's really like, please, no. Like, it's really like emphasizing this. It's not your fault. Like, if you feel lonely, it's nothing wrong with you. It's not your fault. Like, it really wants to emphasize this matter. Again, matters of the heart. And this is vast. This is very vast, because we're opening like the book of the universe, and I'm seeing like soulmates, like soulmates forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever, and are like soulmates forever and ever, like soulmates. I can't say the word enough, right? Soulmate. Soulmate. Okay. Man, it's like it just keeps echoing in here. Soulmate. Can you say soulmate 5 times fast? Soulmate. Okay, swear to God, it will eventually chill out, and then I can chill out, okay? Soulmate. Okay, this is devastating. This is hard. This is really, really hard. Oh boy, oh boy. Pain. I'm looking at the book of soulmates, and I'm looking, and my name isn't in the book. I don't have a soulmate. I don't have one. And a knife appears, and I take the knife and I stab the book, not because I want to hurt the book, or I just feel the pain in my own heart, because I feel like I don't have a soulmate, and I'm in anguish. And this is important. The ruby's talking about the types of pain that people who are lonely can feel. And it can feel this difficult. It can feel this hard. And it's the question is, well, what's the lesson in this? What's the lesson? What's the point of being on earth if you have no soulmate to experience life with? Like, what is the lesson in this? Because it feels confusing, okay? It feels confusing to be alone here, and then to be lonely. And it's almost like it literally, the energy, it just doesn't add up. Like, it's constantly like looking at the equation of life, and it just doesn't make sense that I don't have somebody. Okay, that's what the energy is expressing here. Again, matters of the heart. This is so good. This is so important. Because anybody who's struggling with loneliness or struggling or like really understands this message, just take a nice deep breath, okay? Like, suck the air in. You can do it really like however you want to breathe, you know? All right. We're going to breathe. All right, swear to God, I will stop being silly about this. Sometimes, like, people are like, okay, everybody inhale, exhale. And I'm like, trying to figure out, okay, do I need to inhale even more? Because I can't breathe in even more than this. And now I need to talk and I have to exhale. Like, I can't do this. So you guys just breathe however you feel like, okay? And so will I. Okay, breathing. Okay, so we're going to breathe. And I feel like we have each other, you know? We have each other. We have each other. This is surreal because God is stepping in. It's like the magic of God is stepping in. And okay, this is something I've been noticing vibrantly the last couple days. You guys ever watch a commercial and it really reaches you, like a coffee commercial on a cold winter's day, and there's Christmas like theme going on, it's super snuggly, and you're like watching the commercial, and it's like, you know, lovers or you know, children and presents or family, like it's very warm, it's very inviting, and it makes you feel like there's like a magic to life, and you experience it through watching a commercial, okay? But then you try to recreate it in your own life, and it just doesn't sparkle like that. And I swear this is interesting because I felt this is my own personal calling to channel God. Okay, so I don't know how I want to define this, because God has a lot of different names, a lot of different definitions of what God is, you know. But this is actually the consciousness that is God as... I'll go into that further. I just want to explain the message that God is sharing right now. I slowed down and I started to look at everything that I have in my life. And I started to see everything in my life as a treasure, okay? Even myself, like my hair and my eyes and my skin and my clothes, my socks and shoes, my coffee cups, my tea bags, like my honey bunches of oats cereal, my milk and spoons, like my Nintendo Switch. Okay, like these things are precious, precious treasures. They're not just things; they're gifts. They're gifts, and to create that wholesomeness that I can feel sometimes. To really amplify it. And God's message is really wanting us to feel how many gifts we have access to in our life. Let's say you don't have much in life. Let's say you have a couple pairs of pants and a couple shirts. You live in bare bottom, you know, bare minimum. Treasure what you have as though it is made out of gold. And wear it as though it is gold that you are wearing. Like we see gold as a lot of value, right? But everything that you have in your life is value, is a gift. It is made out of like the fabric of the universe, the fabric of God. So like this stone, this ruby, this body, these clothes are made out of the fabric of God. So it takes the meaning from something that could be a shallow mind base, like I want more things, I don't have many things, I don't like the things that I have. I'm gonna go to my Amazon app and buy something because it's fun to get things from Amazon, right? It makes you feel like you are receiving, but what you already have in your life needs to be really valued as well. Not new stuff coming in, but stuff that you've had for a while is precious, is a treasure, is made from the fabric of God. Like, this is really special, okay? Really special. And God's talking about soulmates now, and how precious soulmate is, and what is the soul made out of? The fabric of God, the fabric of the universe. But God has like a twinkle in his eye, and he's talking about like how souls are made, and he's like super super like a twinkle in his eye. I want to tell you guys something. The reason why I wanted to channel God today was because I had a conversation with God yesterday. It was more like last night. And I was in this like deep way, and I was kind of triggered, but not like angry or like emotionally triggered. I just felt something. And it was like a meaning that I needed an answer to. And I guess I've been on this exploration since I was a kid because I love fairy tales. And one of my favorite fairy tales is this Goofy. It's a Disney storybook, and it's about Goofy, who is this like he doesn't get a lot of respect. He's kind of awkward, but he's nice to animals. But the message of the story is when you are kind to anybody, whether it's an animal or a person, no matter how that person treats you, there's a reward involved. And my soul as a kid understood this. Like, I wanted to grow up no matter how awkward, no matter how misunderstood, no matter how goofy like I was. I wanted to grow up to be good, to be a representation of that spirit, because that's the type of spirit that helps animals, that helps people. And I wanted to represent that. So my life has kind of gone years, and I've gotten to witness how that type of behavior is received here on planet Earth. And oftentimes I'm misunderstood by people, because people just aren't like that. People don't trust people. People don't want to talk to other people. Like, maybe I don't come off right. Like, I've often wondered, if Jesus were reincarnated, right? How would anybody know that was Jesus? Because oftentimes loving people are misinterpreted. They are misunderstood. Because there's so much fear, and we're digesting each other's energies without even realizing it. So those souls, those humans that are working through lessons that are they don't want to look at themselves in the mirror, will oftentimes be very hard people for those of us who do want to look at ourselves in the mirror. It could be very hard lessons for us, because they'll tell us, for instance, that we need to work on ourselves, but we're really the mirror that's helping them to see ways that they can work on themselves. So now we have to be patient, that all the while we're being kind of thrown under a bus and misunderstood. We have to continue to be patient and loving at every turn. You guys know the story. So I was talking to God about this, and how, I was literally really deep about it. Like, I didn't really know I can't be anything but myself. And so if myself is this loving person, I can't, I don't know how that is actually rewarded here. I see that the reward is, it's not that I need anything in return, because I just want to be myself. So the return is just I'm about myself, right? But what if we live in, what is the balance of that? Where's the giving and the receiving? If I am an emanation of myself as a very loving person, then where is the receiving? Where's the balance? If the loving person is having to be patient and receive nothing in return, after a while they're going to question their own there, that's like, what is the reward? Goofy was rewarded in the story, but where's the reward for all those loving people that are having to be patient in the midst of like so much absurdity, even like so much unfairness, so much misunderstanding, so much less friction, you know? And I kind of said I give up, okay? Like, it's not that I'm not going to continue to be who I am. It's just like, it was like a fail somehow in the energy where it just like I don't know. I need some meaning or some reason for why, the goofy story, like why would anybody want to be that way, like for this world, I'm sure that as a human, I go through phases where I ask this, like, is there any hope of us making, like, I am just like everybody else. I go through these phases where we're like the tide. We have our ebbs and our flows. Like, we have days where we're just like, we understand the miracle of life, and days where we're just like, I don't get it anymore. That's the ebb and flow, okay? Anyway, so I did a journey on myself when I woke up in the morning just to clear out whatever came. And I found my way to a door. And on the other side of the door were my spirit guides. And I was letting go of a really hard lesson. And I didn't even realize, like, you can't really let go per se of these lessons because you have to work through them. And what is divine time between an energy world of eternity and a human world of a process that could take years, And so when you're in the lesson, like, you have to go through these lessons. You can say, I feel complete now, I'm ready to let this lesson go. But year after year after year, that lesson is still there. No matter how many times you say that, you have to continue to go through the lesson as its own doorway, okay? Well, somehow I managed to learn some things, some new things, and reach some kind of point of a letting go. I don't know if there's a divine time about all this, but I reached a doorway to my spirit guides, and they were all so happy that I was, that I had done this. Okay, there's a lot of celebration. But there was like this kind of energy, like friction, that was still there, that was kind of telling me that even though I'm making this choice to let go, there's still work to be done. And I followed that back, which just took me back into the circulation, and then I had to go find my way back to the doorway again, because it's like, when are we going to just simply say I'm complete now? So the second time I found my way to the door and my spirit guides were there, it was like I went back in time and redid this. I walked through my spirit guides, and there was a very large man. And he was black energy, and he had a big star over his right eye. And he kind of made me think of Star Guy, who's an energy friend of mine. And he has a star on his third eye, and he has a circulation, like a spiral on his heart. And so I was like, well, it kind of looks like Star Guy, but I mean, this being is really insistent that he's really enormous. Not because of any kind of ego, he just likes being really big, I guess. And he had this star. So God talking about, like, I'm circulating back to, why am I channeling God right now? Well, I had this, and God showed up in my journey as I was healing myself, and he had this star in my vision over his right eye, and I see God in this channeling with all of you guys as having a twinkle in his eye. So it kind of has like a parallel here. But anyway, so God was showing me a new doorway, and about love, and about a freedom from, it's almost like sometimes you hold on to something because you want to follow it all the way through, as in helping others, but not realizing that to help them, you have to let them go. I've learned, I'm aware of this lesson. I'm aware of that. However, I don't always understand how that relates to the many different situations that I have in my life, right? And one is it that you have to let that person go. But that person isn't letting you go. So how do you let someone go that isn't letting you, like, how do you work, like, how do you understand, how do you interpret that between a spirit realm and a human reality, Anyway, so now you guys know why I wanted to channel God today, because I was inspired. I actually felt like my weird moment where I was remembering Goofy, this Disney story, and being good and that I followed this all the way through. And I just wonder what the point is. I mean, I was straight up telling God this. And then God shows up in my healing journey this morning. And I don't know. I just knew I needed to channel God. So, okay, we'll see what God has to say about souls and soulmates, okay? Everything's very peaceful. Everything is very calm. I like the experience right now because I like the experience of God being his own energy, his own individual soul, okay? And this own individual soul then expresses himself through multitudes of souls that are now a reflection of each and every one of us. And we are part of God's soul. And then through us, we actually have collective souls as well. So we are kind of our own gods to other collectives of souls that are part of us. So there's like so many souls. Like, it's just so crazy. Did you ever think of yourself as your own mother, father, God? And that through you and your experiences that you have give birth to souls within your own light, like they're parts of you, and there's multitudes, infinite multitudes of your own soul. Like, what do you think a higher self is? It's like your own God essence that comes from God that has multitudes of souls, like, and you're part of this higher self, and this higher self has many reflective sides. Like, it's just such an infinite universe. It really is. All right, so I like this because God is a reflection of like your classic it's a him, and he's an individual soul, and he's God, kind of how I was raised with Christianity. But he's like this black energy being with a star on his eye, like but it's like his eye twinkles, and he's very, very loving, like, and he's so balanced, and he's so understanding, and he's reminding me of other things I said, like, not even God could help me with this. And then I paused after I said, I was like, I'm not even going to say that. I'm just going to scratch that and say God can help me with this, because I want to prove to myself that God can help me with this. Okay. So, so always say God can help you with anything. Okay. See our pouty ways that we can get and the things that we say that we really should just get over ourselves and open the door. Okay. I'm being shown, I mean, I guess you could say it's two souls, but they both look this color, this reddish color, okay? And they look like identical. I mean, one looks like mirrors of each other. I mean, they literally look like, one looks like the right side, one looks like the left side of the, so it's just like a reflection. So they're both this like maroon reddish color, and they're reflecting of each other's appearances. You could just say one is on the right side and one is on the left side. So there's slight differences, but it's like basically it looks like twins. And God shows me that there's a challenge here for twins, because they can, when you have to look at yourself in the mirror, you can be afraid of what you see. So twins, in a way, are kind of mesmerized by their own reflection, but also afraid of it too. So there can be conflict here when it comes to twin souls, twin flames, and how twin flames are able to embrace each other and work through the lessons within their own reflection. Because their own reflection can be extremely mesmerizing, but it also can be the gateway of their own personal hell, basically. God is so, like, matter of fact and cheerful about this conversation. Like, it just is this way. Like, this is how he's showing it to me, okay? Okay, so I'm continuing to look at this. And he shows me that these twin souls, like, one becomes a gateway to the other. The other goes through that one's gateway as simultaneously that they go through that their gateway. So these gateways are going through each other's gateways simultaneously. It's really surreal. I'm telling you, the mirror maze of this is really surreal. Like it's like almost unbelievable what this is like. And they continue to go deeper and deeper and deeper into their own selves, which is their own self. But he wants to know what soulmates, what is the difference between soulmates and what is twin flames? And he's smiling really big. Right now, there's no answer. I'm thinking about this because I feel like we're all mirrors of each other, so that way we would all be each other's twin flames. Like we're all soulmates of each other, and if we're all part of God's own soul, then we're part of God. So we're just mirrors of God's own self-expression. So if we're all God, then what makes us different from each other? What makes us different from God if we're all part of the same energy? I will say though, and this is where the kind of the crown chakra energy is starting to circulate, almost like like a solar system, or like there's like a circulation going on here, like a rotation of energy, almost like my crown chakra is becoming like a solar system. And it's full of light, and it's full of intense meaning. It's full of the energy of the universe. Okay, my crown chakra is like full of the energy of the universe. And there's an importance here of, okay, what is my, Abbey, what is my relationship with God? Is God my twin flame? What do you think? Am I a child then of God's energy? And if I am a child of God's energy, then how would God be my twin flame? But how would God not be? How would you not be my twin flame? How would we all not be each other's twin flame if we come from the same source? And now when you start to see that we are all soulmates of each other, we all enter into the mirror of one another when we go in, like the Ruby was talking about, sharing our own secret heart space, right? And the fear that is involved in self-expression and being misunderstood, and how hard these lessons in love can be here in this human world. Because it's not easy to just simply be, for all of us to just simply understand each other. We haven't evolved to just allowing ourselves to deeply understand each other. We are still working with, judging and ego, and not fully understanding what's being said, or not asking the right questions and then interpreting. And that's just the way the human race is right now, okay? It's interesting because me sharing the story of why I'm choosing to channel God is kind of like my own secret heart box memory of what created the domino effect to this point in time, and how just by simply sharing a vulnerability within myself, a moment, and where that moment has taken me, and exploring the enlightenment, right? Because there's no bad, there's only to be discovered, right? There's only to be discovered in everything that we experience, whether it's hard or it's easy, okay? We're going back with God to the image of the book of soulmates, okay? And how vulnerable that experience can be when it comes to souls that are here, that are lonely, that feel that there is nobody here to share their life with. and then the soul as the human can circulate that negativity back when God is here watching over all of this, and you are part of God's own self, you know. So this is kind of like an interesting viewpoint right now. It almost seems absurd that anybody would feel so small that they would blame themselves for being lonely, or to judge themselves and why people don't like them, etc. Believe it or not, this is where I'm meant to stop. So I'm going to make a part 2 at some point. It's not going to be today. To simply talk about soulmates with God, okay? And Ruby's going to come with me 33. Maybe it'll turn into 34 or 35 or 36. I'll let you guys know what the date is. March something. It's going to happen soon. But I feel like I'm meant to, the final image for me to see is how we work through our life lessons, how we judge ourselves in these lessons, how small we can feel as human beings when there's such an abundant energy that is a part of who we are, that loves us so immaculately. And it's okay to open up and ask for help. It's okay to even feel downtrodden and lost in this weird thing called life. But not to, keep the door open. Keep the door open. Ask for guidance. Ask for help. Because even for me, when I'm just like, I don't even think God can help. It just is this way, I guess, And I did state that. And so it was kind of blew me away when it's like, who's this tall guy with the star over his eye? Oh, that's an emanation of God. That's pretty surreal. God actually heard me and made an appearance in my own healing journey. And what a statement is that, Like, what a statement is that? It's pretty cool. All right. Thank you all so much for being a part of this experience with me. There's more to come. Be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell, right? Okay. If any of you are interested in exploring a psychic session with me, come visit me on my website at abbeynormalswisdomquest.com. I do have 2 other YouTube channels, so you can check me out again at Zodiac Energy Readings and Abbey Psychic Services. I'm on Patreon at patreon.com/abbeynormalswisdomquest. All right, have an amazing day, and I look forward to seeing what comes up on this topic for round 2.